Yes. Yeah. Good evening, all. So myself, I'm Vijay. Like I hold 20 plus years of experience, which includes nearly 10 plus years of experience, right, in Hadoop and Spark environment. Before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes.
Yes, it's visible and audible too.
Right. So what is big data? So as part of today's demo, I'll be covering the following things. Why Hadoop? Why Hadoop and Spark? Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases, right? Yes. Hadoop and Spark advantages. Hadoop and Spark job market. So this is what I'm going to discuss as part of today's session, right? So what is big data? Why Hadoop and Spark? Drawbacks with the current databases. Hadoop and Spark advantages and Hadoop job market. Okay, first one, like what is big data? The name itself saying like huge volumes of data, right? Big data, huge volumes of data. Currently, the data is getting stored. Data storage units, like you can say like KBs of data, MBs, GBs, terabytes, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, yottabytes, rottabytes, so on, right? So you should have seen KBs of data, MBs of data, or GBs, or even TBs of data. But petabytes of data, is it getting generated in the current world? If so, examples of petabytes of data generation. 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs. Already 1 TB is a large storage unit, right? 1 petabyte equal to 1024 TBs already. Okay. Do you see examples of petabytes of data generation? We talk about any banking sector, like take the example of SBI, right? Within the city, we see like hundreds of branches for this bank, like SBI. Within the entire state, we see like thousands of branches. Within the entire country, we see lakhs of branches for. In each branch, we have got so in lakhs of branches, right, within the country. Again, lakhs of branches will have millions of each branch has got millions of customers. So here, each customer making multiple transactions per hour or per day or per week or per month. Each and every transaction has to be stored, right? Huge data is getting generated. Take the example of social media like Facebook, right? Take the example of social media like Facebook. Facebook, it has got users not only within the country, it has got users throughout the world. What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? How many posts and videos are getting circulated? And what should be the storage capacity to store all those, right? Each and every Facebook post, that's post and video need to be stored, right? What should be the storage capacity to store all the millions and trillions of users data, right? Huge data is required. Not only like this Facebook, we have got today we see many applications. Today we see many applications which are generating huge data, right? Talk just to take 1 minute a transaction, just to take 1 minute a transaction in a minute. How many Facebook posts? What should how many Facebook posts? What is the data generated by Facebook in a minute? Twitter tweets, And what is the data generated by Google in a minute? So today, if you get any query, right, you will just query in the Google queries. So what is the data generated by Google in a minute? And today you are uploading all the videos into your Google Drive. Y- Sorry, you are uploading your videos to your YouTube, right? YouTube videos upload. YouTube videos upload, right? Yes. What should be the storage to store all the videos? And millions and trillions of people using email or Gmail messages. Email or Gmail messages, right? And what should be the storage capacity to store all these messages? Just now I was talking about the bank transactions. Similarly, like telecom transactions. And similarly, we have got e-commerce transactions like Flipkart or Amazon transactions, but everywhere we see like huge data is getting generated. Okay. All these are generating more than 500 petabytes per month on an average, right? All these applications are generating more than 500 petabytes per month on an average. All this. So currently we have got a databases. Currently we have got a databases, right, for storing these things. Like the databases like Oracle database, MySQL database, DB2 SQL server, right? All these are used for. These databases are used for OLTP operations, online transactional processing for day-to-day operations. But we have got some specialized databases, right? We have got some specialized databases which are used for data warehouse purposes, right? Example, like if you heard about a Teradata, Vertica, Netija, Vertica. These are used for data warehouse purposes, OLAP operations, analytical processing. These are used for analytical processing, right? Either these databases or specialized databases, they can handle data up to some extent, right? But beyond that, they cannot support data, right? So as a solution to all these storage level problems and processing level problems, there is a framework called Hadoop, which was introduced, right, for both storing and processing. I'll come back for the services. What are the services given by this Hadoop? But before that, you need to clearly understand about this data generation, right? Assume this is the data which has been generated from the last 50 years in the entire world. This is the data which is available and which has been generated. This is the data which has been generated from the last 50 years. Assume from 1974 to, yes, 2024. Right. We observe, right? Just observe this last 10 years data, 2014 to 24. The last 10 years data with the previous 40 years, right? So only 20% of the data has been generated from the previous 40 years, and nearly 80% of the data, what you are seeing, right, has been generated from the last 10 to 15 years, right? Reasons for huge data generation, especially from the last 10 years, because of usage of technology, usage of smartphones, usage of internet, right? Previously, if you talk about in 1990s, the secondary storage systems, we used to have floppy disks. Floppy disks, the size of it 1.44 MB. Later you got a compact disk, DVDs, USBs, all this, right? Now you got MBs later in GBs, right? Okay. What are the sources from where this huge data is getting generated? What are the sources from where this huge data is getting generated? Mainly three sources of data. from where these are going to be generated. First one is like I can say like social data. Social data. Second is like transactional data. Social data, or I can this one second is like machine data and a transactional data. Social data means data which has been generated from day to day, from the social medias, right? Data which has been generated by Twitter, Facebook, all these things, right? Such kind of data we say like social data. Machine data means, for example, data which has been generated by reading or scanning the barcodes, RFID chips, etc. All this, right? Transactional data like bank transactions, telecom transactions, right? So in this way, mainly three sources: social data, machine data, and transactional data. And that data is going to occupy three types, three formats, three types of data. Structured data, right? Structured data, semi-structured data, and unstructured data. Structured data, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So just observe this right. So today, the data which has been generated, the huge data which has been generated, mostly going to take unstructured format. But today, if we take the databases can store only structured data, which is in the form of rows and columns, like database tables, Excel sheets, all this, right? They can store only structured, but semi-structured data, like JSON files, XML files, unstructured data like chart messages, articles, images, videos, all this comes as unstructured, right? And say the biggest challenge is for handling this unstructured data. Hadoop, that is, can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data. So day by day, as data is increasing, right? Day by day, as data is increasing enormously, we need to have some proper storage and a processing system, storage and processing systems, right? To store and to process these things, right? Yes. So we have got a framework. We have got a framework, right? Hadoop. So it is going to perform two things. Hadoop is going to perform two things: storage and processing. If we talk about any technology, right? If we talk about any technology, it either performs storage, either it performs processing. We talk like C or C++ or Java or .NET, all this, they're meant for processing. We talk about Oracle, MySQL, DB2, all these are meant for storage. But Hadoop is meant for both storage and processing. Hadoop is meant for both storage and processing. So perform storing and processing. So for storage, for storage, does it use any database for storing its data? No. It is going, I said databases has got some drawbacks. Despite of those drawbacks, Hadoop doesn't go with any databases for storing. It is going with a kind of file system called as Hadoop distributed file system. And for processing, does it use any technology currently? It is going with an execution model called as MapReduce. Currently, it is going with Spark. So Hadoop is meant for both storing and processing. For storing, it is using Hadoop distributed file system. For processing, it is going with MapReduce or Spark. So may I ask why databases, why databases can't be used for storing Hadoop's data. Drawbacks with the current databases. And okay, one more thing, right? As by seeing this diagram, right, you may ask one more query. So when Hadoop is going to perform both storing and processing, what is the necessity of this processing and the storage technologies? Do you think when Hadoop is going to perform both storage and processing, do you think that these technologies like will be away from the market? Oracle, MySQL, DB2, C, C++, Java, .NET, right? So you need to clearly understand why this Hadoop. Hadoop is meant for batch processing, batch applications. Hadoop, for a single record, for a single transaction, no need of Hadoop, right? Hadoop is bad for small data. Hadoop is good for huge data. For single record, for two records, right? Or for two transactions, Hadoop is not required. For millions and trillions of records, right? We go for Hadoop, right? Yes. Is meant for batch applications, batch processing. Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases, right? Yes. First thing, see, most of the databases, less storage, right? And in most of the databases, no parallel processing, no parallel processing. Less storage, no parallel processing, right? Okay. As volume increases, volume of the data, volume increases, right? Speed decreases, I'm saying. For example, observe this. I'm taking a query, right? Select, select total amount, select a total amount from sales one. Select a total amount from sales one, right? Which has got 10 records. Select a total amount. Select a total amount from sales two. From sales two is a different table which has got 1 lakh records, which has got 1 lakh records. Assume it has got 1 lakh records. Select a total amount from sales three, which has got 1 crore records. Which query is going to execute faster among these three? Everyone. Which query is going to execute faster among these three queries? Total amount of 10 records, or total amount of 1 lakh records, or total amount of 1 crore?
10
First one.
records.
First record executes faster, right? As compared to the remaining. Okay. That's total amount of 10 records. Means query to query as volume increasing, right? Volume is increasing, speed decreasing, right? And one more thing, if complexity increases also, complexity increases, speed decreases, right? For example, the same thing, total amount from sales when I'm taking the same query. Now, okay, example, total amount from sales one. Now, select average. Now I'm taking average amount from sales one. Same table. Select standard deviation of amount. from sales one, right? Try to observe this. The queries to some total amount from sales one, average amount from sales one, standard deviation of amount from sales one. Now try to answer this. Which query executes faster among these three? Total amount, average amount, or standard deviation?
First one.
First one, right? Because the second query, average amount, is a two-step process. First sum to be calculated, next average to be calculated. As compared to the first one, second one takes more time. Standard deviation of amount, lot of internal processing required as compared to the other query. It's going to take a lot of time. Okay, now complexity increases, speed decreases. Next. Major drawback with the databases. Databases can handle only structured data. Databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi. Databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data. Okay. For example from this. Screen mute. Now, for example, I want to take reviews for a particular movie. Reviews I want to take for a particular movie, right? So here, check this. There are two columns, user and the review. User and the review. First, user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4. In this way, 100 users giving the feedback. User 1 saying if the movie is good, saying 1, if the movie is bad, saying 0. If the movie is good, saying 1, if the movie is bad, saying 0, right? In this way, the reviews were given in the form of ones and zeros. Can you write an SQL query to count the number of ones and zeros, that is goods and not goods? Can you count the number of ones and zeros by writing an SQL query? Yes. Single grouping, single aggregation. We can write an SQL query, right? A review wise, I want count. I want what I want count from a reviews table, group by review. Review wise count I want from reviews table, group by review. Assume review wise 1. Observe this output. Review 1 and 0. Count 90 people saying the movie is good, 10 people saying the movie is bad. 90 people saying the movie is good, 10% saying the movie is bad. Now, this kind of structured, right? Okay, you can write this, but generally reviews won't be given in the form of ones and zeros, right? Reviews, they will be given in their own text format. First person saying movie is good. Second person saying movie is not good. Third person saying, right? Yes. In their own text format, they are giving the reviews. Now, can you write an SQL query? Can you write an SQL query to count the number of goods and not goods? Even by using keyword count, if you are trying to do, it gives wrong computation, right? Because not good has got good in it. So this kind of data can't be handled, right? So databases can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured data. So these are the major drawbacks with the databases. Despite of these drawbacks, Hadoop is not going with databases for storing its data. It's going with a special kind of file system, Hadoop distributed file system. We talk about the Hadoop advantages. Hadoop advantages, right? First thing is unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage, right? Yes. Very high speed processing. Very high speed processing. And unlimited data storage, very high speed processing. Can handle all varieties of data. Can handle all varieties of data. Like the structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Can handle all varieties like structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. What? Next. Okay. Can handle all varieties of data and open source. It is an open source, no licensing required, cost cutting, right? And commodity hardware, it can run on any hardware resources. Doesn't mean that it should have that highly configured systems. Hadoop can be installed. Hadoop can run on any hardware configurations, commodity hardware, right? Yes. So these are the major advantages, mainly unlimited data storage, very high speed processing. About these things, I'll be discussing in brief. How unlimited data storage is possible in Hadoop, how very high speed processing is possible in Hadoop, and the other things can handle all varieties, structured, semi-structured, unstructured, open source, no licensing, commodity hardware, right? Yahoo has conducted a test. Yahoo has conducted a test to check the speed of different databases, right? To check the speed of, it has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns. The task was sorting not on a single column, sorting based on 16 columns, sorting based on 16 columns. Yahoo conducted a test, right? It has taken a table of 100 TB of 1024 columns, task sorting based on 16 columns. Sorting based on 16 columns, right? What is the time taken by different databases? So Oracle has taken nearly 3.5 days to process. Oracle has taken nearly 3.5 days to process this. MySQL has taken nearly 6 days to process this. Teradata, a specialized database used for data warehouse, right? It has just taken 4.5 hours. Netija, another database, right? Used for Netija, right? Another database used for data warehouse purpose. Has just taken 3 hours, right? Netija has just taken 3 hours. Finally, Hadoop. It has just taken 4.2 minutes. So where these databases have taken days, these have taken hours, this has taken minutes of time. The latest version of Hadoop has just taken 2.4 minutes. This is what the speed of Hadoop as compared with the other things, right? Hadoop has got very high speed as compared with these things, right? Okay. And so Hadoop is proven in the market, processing point of view, not only processing point of view, even storage point of view. I'll show you some examples, storage point of view also. Right. Now, Spark. I was talking about Hadoop, right? But I'll just give some introduction to the Spark. So here, just I'll take 10 minutes. Hadoop has taken this much of time. Hadoop has taken 4.2 minutes. But Spark, see the speed of Spark, right? The name itself saying it's like a spark. Spark is 100 times faster. 100 times faster. Hadoop. Already Hadoop speed itself is very high speed, but Spark 100 times faster than Hadoop. Then see the speed of Spark then. Very high speed processing. Today, that's the reason Spark has got a great demand in today's market. So industry is expecting the results in quick time. So Spark can process huge data in quick time, right? So what is Apache Spark? Why PySpark? So we are discussing about Spark with Python implementation. Why PySpark? Need for PySpark. Need for PySpark, right? Real life usage. Real life usage of PySpark. Then if you talk like PySpark job market. Okay. So what is Apache Spark? Why PySpark? Need for PySpark? Real life usage of PySpark and PySpark job market. So I can say Apache Spark. It is an open source. Apache Spark is an open source distributed cluster computing framework which is introduced by Apache Software Foundation. Introduced by Apache Software Foundation. I can say it is an engine for data analysis, data processing, data computation, right? So this PySpark, I can say it is a Python API. PySpark is a Python API to use Spark. This cluster computing system, which is used for big data solution, right? This PySpark, right? It's a lightning fast technology that is being designed for fast computation. It's a very demanding tool in the among the data engineers, right? This PySpark to work with the bigger data sets. And PySpark used for distributed is running distributed SQL, creating data pipelines, ingesting data to this databases, running ML algorithms, working with the graphs or data streams, and many more, right? Yes. So if I talk about the need for PySpark, right? Today you see huge data is getting generated. Lot of data is getting generated. This data contains hidden patterns, market trends, customer preferences, unknown corrections, and other useful business information. It is necessary to extract the valuable information from this raw data. So we require some efficient tools to perform these different types of operations on this huge data, right? So already we have got many other tools. We have got various tools to perform this multiple tasks on these huge data sets. but those tools are not so appealing. So it is required to have some scalable and flexible tools to crack this big data and gain benefit from it. So PySpark is such a kind. PySpark is such a kind, right? Yes. So PySpark is such a kind. So here I can say it is a scalable and flexible tool to crack this big data. And see, combining this Python and Spark will be the very efficient for the world of big data. So that's why Apache Spark community, they have come up with a tool called PySpark, Python API for using Spark. Already you can see the coding in Python, very less coding you see, that was simple syntaxes you see in Python. So yes, so PySpark, the efficient tool for the world of big data. We see where exactly it is used in the current real world. The PySpark mostly used in the commercial sector, that using the Spark real-time processing like banks and other financial fields, they use Spark to retrieve the customer social media information, right, to gain useful insights and to take, they help in taking the right decisions, right? And also in credit risk assessments and targeted ads, customer segmentations, they're going to play a vital role in fraud detections, all this, right? Which one? Spark. And also in the healthcare also, right? Today, if you see in healthcare also, so it is a kind of predictions it is performing, analysis it is performing, right? And also which person, which patient which patient is going to face that issue even after being discharged from the clinic. And in even in entertainment industry, right? So the entertainment industry is totally moving towards this online streaming, right? So the popular OTT platform Netflix uses Spark for real-time processing to personalized online movies or web series. So it processes 450 billion events per day. 450 billion events per day, right? That's streamed on server-side applications. And even this e-commerce and trading, right? The leading e-commerce website like Flipkart, Amazon, they are using Apache Spark for advertising. They're used for advertising, right? Yes. Okay. They provides enhanced customer experience and optimizes overall performance, right? Some kind of recommendations. The Flipkart or Amazon, you can see some kind of recommendations are done, right? Yes. 1 second. I'll come back to the Chetan, right? Tourism industry, even tourism industry, right? Apache Spark providing advices to millions of travelers by comparing the hundreds of tourism websites, right? And even the job market of PySpark today, you can check in this Google, right? Even you can see the packages of this PySpark, especially means Hadoop and PySpark both combinedly will be used, right? So there are some Hadoop components in this PySpark, both combinedly will be used for processing. So you can see the packages for this PySpark 1.5 times more than the other technologies, right? The same way they'll be expecting the technical aspects from this, right? So just once you compare this, check this course content, what I'm going to discuss as part of Hadoop and PySpark, big data Hadoop. So what is Hadoop? Big need for Hadoop sources, comparisons, challenges with the big data, right? HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system, features of HDFS, map reduce architecture, map reduce processing. So Scoop, it's one of the important component of Hadoop, right? For import and export operations. Scoop, the name itself saying, right? The first two characters SQL, it is taken from SQL, and the last three characters it is taken from Hadoop. Both combinedly, right? So it is SQL plus Hadoop. So scoop it forms for importing, see this SQOOP. So for import export operations, during importing data from this databases to Hadoop, you can perform various operations like filtering rows, filtering columns, merging, grouping, aggregating, right? Different operations, transformations, and incremental loading and defining scope jobs. Yarn, yet another resource negotiator. The previous versions, there were some drawbacks, but current latest versions, all those have been rectified. So total this yarn architecture, yarn processing, yarn components we'll be discussing, and you'll be given knowledge on NoSQL database. One NoSQL database I'll be discussing in brief. That is HBase, the Hadoop database. So NoSQL database I'm going to discuss. And one important component of Hadoop, Hive, right? Apache Hive, Hive Metastore, Hive architecture, difference between HQL and SQL, Hive built-in functions, loading data from local files to Hive tables, loading data from HDFS to Hive tables, inner tables, internal tables, working with unstructured data, XML data, JSON data, URL weblog data, and working with the Hive UDF, UDAF, UDTFs, partition table, dynamic partitioning, static partitioning, bucketing, indexing, right? All this. And also I'm going to give you the knowledge on streaming data technologies, right? What do you mean by streaming data? Data which keeps on generating, data which keeps on incrementing such data, right? So we have got technologies like Flume Kafka, right? We're providing knowledge on this Kafka especially. So if we come to this PySpark, in brief about this PySpark, why PySpark, need for this PySpark, its features, PySpark session, PySpark context repartition, broadcast variables, PySpark RTD computation, PySpark persistence options, PySpark core computing, grouping segregations, various inbuilt actions and transformations, and PySpark SQL data frames API, and by creating a data frame, converting data frame to pandas, row class, column class, select, collect with column, where, filter, order by, join, union all, UDF map, flat map for each partition, right? PySpark SQL functions, aggregate functions, window functions, date and timestamp functions, JSON functions, read and write JSON files. PySpark built-in functions, lit, split, concat, translate, overlay, to date format, array contains array. These were different functions of this PySpark. PySpark external sources, working with SQL statements, working with the Hive, Spark and Hive integration, Spark and MySQL integration, working with CSV, JSON, transformations and actions, narrow and wide transformations, adding of new columns, dropping columns, renaming, adding of new rows, dropping, handling nulls, window function, writing back to external sources, deployment modes, local mode, cluster mode, PySpark application, stages and tasks, driver and executor, building Spark applications, and PySpark streaming concepts, and the integration with Kafka and PySpark machine learning library, right? In brief about this PySpark, I'm going to discuss, right, all these things. Apart from this, you'll be given knowledge on this Python, right? Python basics, that too not overview in brief about this Python, because implementation goes in Python, you need to have some command on this Python. That's why, like Python operations, Python operators in Python, IDEs, integrated developments like PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, Eclipse, NetBeans, Anaconda distributions, right? Flow control statements, looping, strings, collections, lists, different collection types, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions, modules, packages, errors and exceptions, file handling, object-oriented concepts, regular expressions, database connectivity, date time, OS, Advanced concepts like iterator, generator, closures, decorators, working with CSV, XML, JSON, working with Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science, Pandas model in brief, NumPy model in brief, and Matplotlib model in brief, right? So yes. So here, observe these things, right? So this course, it's a package we are providing, right? So big data package, right? Yes. So in this first, like a Hadoop, mostly used Hadoop components, right? Which are mostly used in the industry. And whatever I discussed, apart from this next PySpark, PySpark is everything implementation in the Linux environment. So Linux will be discussed. And apart from that, Python. So, and also Python, right? Yes. Python core and advanced topics, core plus advanced, right? So these things, Hadoop, PySpark, these things. So this will be on the weekends, Saturdays 2 hours, Sunday 2 hours, right? Total 12 weekends I'm going to discuss on this Hadoop, PySpark. This Python you will be attending Monday to Friday, any of my Python batch. So there will be multiple Python batches I'll be handling, either morning or evening you can attend, right? Monday to Friday. Okay, fine. So it's 12 weekends. So as of now, the demo's going at 4 p.m., right? But later, this today and tomorrow, it will be at 4 p.m. But next coming, right? So the timing of this batch will be 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. evening, right? So that everyone can attend the sessions, right? So based on this, even most of the students will be attending from US time zone. So that's why as part of the timings, right? We have set it 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. But tomorrow you people can attend the session same time at 4 p.m. tomorrow. But from next week onwards, right, it will be in the evening 7 to 9. So where this Hadoop, PySpark, and Linux, and this Python you can attend. See, first Hadoop will be discussed. When Hadoop is discussed, right, it is going to take nearly 5 weeks. From this, I'm going to speak 4 to 5 weekends, 5 weekends for this Hadoop, remaining 7 to 8 weekends for this PySpark. So when Hadoop is going, right, the Python you will be updating parallelly in the weekdays. So as of now, there is one 7 p.m. batch starting at Monday, right? This Monday in the evening. And in the morning also, there is an 8 a.m. batch going to start after 1 week time. So if you want morning or evening, this Python. Apart from, okay, this Python will be discussed. Nearly 50 sessions of Python will be covered in this. And Hadoop, PySpark, and Linux 12 weekends. It also nearly takes 50 plus sessions, right? So all the, okay, what you are going to get is offerings from our side. So you will be getting for all this Hadoop, PySpark, Python, all this will be getting the recorded videos. Each recorded session videos, right? Whatever the session videos. If you miss any session, any weekday, that Saturday or Sunday, if you have missed, you will be getting the recordings. You can go through and attend the next session for the better understanding. So clear soft copy of the notes, soft copy of class notes. Everything in clear notes will be provided. Each and everything you will be understanding. Assignments and tasks to be worked with, right? Assignments and tasks to work. And a WhatsApp group will be created separately for all this. For Hadoop, one WhatsApp group. For PySpark, one WhatsApp group. For Python, separate groups will be WhatsApp groups will be created where you can interact, right? Anything technical aspects, right? And mostly asked interview questions for this, especially for PySpark Hadoop, mostly asked interview questions. And about the software, don't worry, just I'll be briefing you about the software separately, right? Yes. These are the things, right? Recorded videos, session videos, soft copy of this class notes, as in notes approved. So the prerequisites only like a basic SQL, basics of SQL required, basic of Linux required, but anyhow, I'm going to discuss before I go with the practical part. Yes, even basics of Python and these things required for this PySpark especially. So before it start, so that fee structure for this is 15,000 for all these things. Hadoop, PySpark, Linux, and Python. The fee structure is 15,000. If the people, if you have already enrolled for Python, if you have paid some fees, whatever fees you have paid will be deducted from this, right? And the remaining you need to pay, right, for these things. Okay, fine. Any queries you have got, anyone? Tomorrow also you can attend the session at 4 p.m. in the evening using the same link. Yes, sir. Yeah, some queries was all practicals. Everything is practical oriented, nothing theory here. For the first couple of sessions, 2 or 3 sessions, you'll be just seeing some theory, right? Because what is Hadoop and that architectural part, storage architectural, processing architectural, everything. But later, everything I'll be showing you practically, right? Yes, Chetan, you'll be getting the recorded videos of each and every session, right? Yes.
Sir, is this means possible that within 12 weekends entire syllabus will be covered?
Yes, yes, means Python will be dealt
Because
separately.
you are just gonna take 2 hours. Within that, you have questions also, right?
Yes, sir. Sometimes I'll be taking some bigger sessions, right? Depending upon that my availability and depending upon some of the practicals requirement, right? I'll be extending 3 hour sessions will be there. Sometimes if I'm running out of time, I'll take extra sessions at the last.
Okay, but entire whatever you mentioned is syllabus point to point, it will be covered.
It's 3 months, right? 12 weekends means 3 months, right?
Yes, but
So
the
three,
hours is less. Only one in 1 week we are gonna spend only 4 hours, right?
yeah, 4 hours will be spending. Not 4 hours, I'm saying. Sometimes it may be extended. It may go to 2.5
So it's
hours.
gonna 12 into 4. It's
One.
48 hours only.
Yes, yes. So in
So
that,
I think
if nearly like 30 to 35 sessions, I'll be spending on Spark and remaining on this Hadoop.
okay.
So my
No,
more
just concern is that
more.
whatever the point to point is whatever you mentioned in the content
Mhm.
is syllabus. So entire is going to be covered, right? Within
Everything
this.
everything will be covered, right?
Okay.
So okay. So 12. That's why I said 12 weekends, right? It's a 12 3 months 3 months duration it will be, right? Right. And this Python is not covered in that. Means Python is separately it will be dealt. Allow separate sessions from this from Monday to Friday. You can attend any of those. This will be separate. Okay. Sometimes after sometimes once I'll be taking at the Hadoop and PySpark parallelly 1.5 hour, 1.5 hour Hadoop and PySpark. Once I after 1 month, right? If I'm running out of time for Hadoop, I'll be taking two
Okay,
to
means
1.5 hours.
whatever we require that much of is covered, then you are gonna do the parallel as well.
Yes, yes. Parallelly, Hadoop and PySpark will be started parallelly after some time. Once you got that Hadoop knowledge, right? Some components of Hadoop will be parallelly, like PySpark starts and Hadoop will both will be dealt parallel. Okay.
Okay.
So depending upon that, right? I'll be taking extra sessions also. I'll pre-intimate the timings for you. Same on Saturdays and Sundays only, right? Fine. So someone was asking query, right? Yes. Only for PySpark. As of now, okay, Hadoop and PySpark, but recently it was 3 weeks ago, it was a PySpark batch is running 3 or 4 weeks back, it was started, right? There's a PySpark batch started. But separately for PySpark, as of now, we doesn't have. But if you see, if any PySpark batch starts, you can attend Sayog Patak, right? You can be in touch. If any PySpark, only PySpark batches also I'll be starting only PySpark. Yes. Yeah, so you can see a big message is given by this online team, right? You can see a big message is given about they have forwarded that course content they have forwarded, their contact details they have forwarded, the payment details they have forwarded. Yes, if you have got anything related, you can just call them. If you have got enrolled, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID they have provided, right? Durgasoft online training at gmail.com. But tomorrow we'll discuss more. We'll have some more discussion, right? Same time at 4 o'clock to see more discussion on this. Okay, fine. Fine. Okay. So any other queries, right? Yes.
Sir,
Right. Fine. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Someone was asking query, right?
సార్ ఇది ప్యారలల్ గా చేసుకుంటే అర్థమవుతుందా సార్ ఇది పైథాన్
Parallel,
ఇంకా పైస్పాక్ ఎందుకంటే పైస్పాక్ రావాలంటే కొంచెం పైథాన్ కూడా రావాలి కదా ముందే.
wait, 1 second, 1 second. So for PySpark, Python is required, but first I'll be starting with Hadoop, right? First, like 4 or 5 weekends, you'll be learning with Hadoop, where Python knowledge is not required for it. So you'll be updating with Python. By the time when the Hadoop gets completed, your Python core will be completed. Python core gets completed, where you'll be attending in the weekdays. So when PySpark starts, right, you'll be having the Python core knowledge. Whenever PySpark is going, by the time PySpark is starting, you'll be having knowledge about the Python core programming. That's sufficient.
What does will cover an advanced concept of Python?
Advanced concepts like lot of modules concept I'll be discussing. Python has got the concept of modular programming. Modular programming means thousands of models Python is providing for different environments, for data science, for big data, for networking, for testing, for databases. All this 89,300 modules Python is providing. In that, I'll be discussing some important modules like Pandas module, NumPy module, Matplotlib module, database connect, MySQL
Shadow.
module. So in this way, different types of module program I'll be discussing in that. Yes. Yeah, Parth Patel, right? So this is for those who wants to go into big data domain, right? Then big data environment, right? Data engineering, right? So in brief about those, everything will be discussed, right? So even Python is not like an overview. Even we'll be spending nearly 45 to 50 sessions on that. In brief, because implementation goes in Python. Python, that too, you won't see huge codings, right? It's a simple programming with less coding. It just looks like normal English statements. Yes, Deepesh, you have got any query? Yes.
The regular 8 p.m. batch will be there, which is started 2 weeks back today. The weekend batch, 8 p.m.
8 a.m. or which one you are
8,
talking?
8, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. batch. A
So
regular batch.
whatever, if you are attending that, that will be there as usual. If you are already attending.
Actually, last weekend I couldn't attend or this happened or not. I'm not sure. But 4 p.m. I tried to join. I didn't got any link regarding
Mhm.
last week.
Link will be the same. Once you got enrolled, the same link will be followed up to the end of the course.
And
Every week you won't get any link, but
okay.
once you got enrolled, the same link you need to follow up to the end of the course.
And WhatsApp group not created for Hadoop batch
See,
for that.
during the first 2 3 weeks, right? Every
Okay.
time during the session, right, the WhatsApp link will be posted in that repeatedly
Okay.
for the students to join. When the session is going on, at the start of the session, end of the session, I'll be posting the WhatsApp link during the sessions, right? For the first 2 3 sessions for the students to join in the WhatsApp, not separately, right?
Okay.
Okay. For the students to directly interact with me, I am creating the WhatsApp group for the students to interact at technical aspects, right? Any errors, you can take the snap of that errors and just keep the errors in the WhatsApp. For that, I'm creating separate. It's not from Durgasoft side. For it's that WhatsApp group is created by me for the students. For any errors, anything, they can have interaction with me directly. Okay. Fine.
Sir, as part
Uh,
of this Python core and advanced, we can join any batch, sir, or only this particular time only we have.
No, no, you can attend any of my, once you got enrolled for this big data package, Python, whichever timing you are preferred, which time is preferable for that batch you can attend. Morning or evening, which one you can prefer, that batch you can attend.
Okay. Sir.
Okay. Okay, so tomorrow also,
what
tomorrow also,
about pig and hive, sir?
Hello,
Is
what is it?
is I'm audible?
Yes, yes.
pig and hive?
Please, your topic.
We'll do it. Right project.
One project I'll be discussing at the last, the total flow of that project, right? Within this Hadoop and PySpark.
One project.
Yes.
PySpark, one project.
Yes, yes. Hadoop and PySpark combined one total flow I'll be discussing. Okay.
Sir, I'm asking about the pig and hive. Is it not in syllabus?
Pig previously mostly used, Apache Pig was mostly used previously, but it has totally got outdated. When Spark came into the market, Pig, Apache Pig, but it was outdated. But Hive, I discussed that. We have got a lot of discussion on Hive. It is one of the important component of Hadoop. As it will be discussing a lot of discussion on this.
Okay, yeah, got it. In syllabus it is below.
This one, right?
Yes,
Hive,
yes.
Apache Hive. This entire thing will be discussed. Hadoop
Okay.
means totally Hive only. You have got only jobs available on Hive. If you not got a good knowledge on this Hive,
Okay.
only on Hive also there are jobs available. It's a HQL language. HQL, right? Similar to SQL. We have got Hive query language similar to SQL.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. So tomorrow also people can attend at 4 p.m. to see more discussion on this. Okay. So if I'm done with your queries, I'll just sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Right? Fine. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. Meet you tomorrow.